So I think what the question is in a memory palace, how do you categorize where different ideas go and where they get attached? And it's a good question because it's complex. When you have things at these grand idea levels, there's often a lot of crossover. But you asked at a good time because I just was reading about this in Bruno's De Ombris Idearum, in the Shadow of the Ideas, which is his first book on memory palaces. And for each statue that you have, he calls them subjects, you would have adjects attached to them in his terminology. But really, it's just little ideas also attached to it. So for me, as I make these visualizations, for each statue, like here, Tipperet, which is the lion in my personal one, I have all of these ideas attached to about what else it means. And I have that for all the other statues as well, especially my own personal deities. And in my visualizations, I add ideas that go along with that flow of nature. For instance, for each of the four elements, I have a male and a female version. And so as I'm thinking about an important idea, I kind of try to come up with my visual shorthand for it. In fact, I have a whole bunch of symbols that I've been working on for the last years over here. And sometimes it is an animal that might represent this idea or a tool. And you have an idea of which statue that might go with. And I think as you rummage around in your memory palace, you look at what fits where. I think that will help you decide where these different ideas get placed. And the best example of this probably is up here on the trigrams of the I Ching. Each of these has so many ideas attached to them. Let me show you. For instance, here is Li. She is the middle sister. And she stands for fire. She has different aspects to her in the traditional I Ching. And then you can read in I Ching all of these other ideas that relate to her. The animals that relate, what kind of heat she has. If you were looking at a person representation of her, it would be a big-bellied man. And so for each of these trigrams, it has all of these other associations with it. So I think this is a great example of it because this is what 2,000 years of Chinese thought did to add to these symbols constantly. And really, that's all any of us are trying to do as well. I'm planning to do this big, long Blake video, but the main point is Blake is saying, I have this crazy symbol system. You need to make your own crazy symbol system. So I think I can keep about 30 statues in my head, and I'm constantly adding to them little tools and stuff that represent more and more aspects to them. In the Ifa tradition, you would have different roads to a force of nature, and that's different ways that they manifest in the world. And I think any of these high-level ideas that we're adding as statues are going to have many different roads to them.